Greetings and blessings to each and every one of you. I greet you with the love and the honor of the infinite creator, and I continue to pray that each and every one of you will accept and receive the healings, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe. I've been a little, I thank you all for subscribing, and I thank you all for being a member of the group here. And uh, recently, some things have developed here at the farm down here in the swamp. Many of you know that Miss Deb has been staying here since September. I went down to Florida and picked her up and brought her back up here. And the last 2 months, she's gotten very ill. And I know that there's been several things. I don't know what they are, but I really don't want to know. I know there's been some things said about me or whatever. And all I can tell you is that I have tried to do the best that I could. I went down to Tampa to pick her up and brought her back up here. And now, for what I understand, she is in the hospital with leukemia and is in Augusta, Georgia at a hospital. She needs her prayers. But I want to say this little caveat. Everybody has their own problems. Everybody has their own mental issues. I'm 67 years old. And to try to take on somebody that has uh, ills or who needs to be taken care of, that was not supposed to be the deal between us. And it's hard for me because of things that have happened here in my life and here in this house, to where I just had no idea what to do, how to take care of it. I knew something was wrong, but any attempt to try to reach her in any way was not working. And I wish that I could have. I wish that I should. There are things that, in retrospect, well, maybe you should have said it this way, but it just seemed like whatever and however I said it just wasn't being heard correctly. Now, there are personality issues. I'll just leave it at that. Multiple personality issues. And there were times when I didn't know who I was talking to, okay, quite frankly. And I'm not talking bad about Deb. I have gone out of my way to try to help her and to try to get her out of the situation she was in. And but I think that she thought that there was more help, or that I was somehow going to help her more. I'm an old man. I'm crotchety. I have my own issues. I did the best I could. So I want everyone to pray for her. She needs prayers. I do not know the extent of her situation, but anyone who has leukemia is not in a good place. And I swear to all above, I would never wish harm on anyone, especially her. And I'm so sorry that she has posted things that have come back around to me through emails from other people who've seen some of these things. I've done my best to not say anything about a situation because I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's right. And I'm not going to go try to look up what she's been saying about me or what the situation is. It's just that I did the best I could. And it wasn't good enough for the person. And I'm sorry. I am so sorry that I could not help. But there are times when we all have to realize, and you've heard me talk about it, somebody's got to be the camp counselor. Somebody's got to be able to say, listen, enough's enough. This ain't working. She was upstairs, which is and she got to the point where she couldn't come down the stairs. So I don't have enough space here at my house for her to have had a bedroom or her own space downstairs. And so the issue was, well, I can't come downstairs. Well, feed me upstairs, send food upstairs, wait a minute. I didn't sign on for this. Now, I'm not speaking ill or bad, I promise, but I am speaking truth. And so if you hear of anything that's going around that I tried something, I don't know what's going down. But if you trust me at all in the last several years of me doing these YouTube videos, understand that I would do my best to try to help someone, and I have. I mean, I drove down to Tampa and moved all of her stuff up here. There's things in here in the house that I don't really have any room for, but they're still in my house taking up space. But I haven't put stuff on Facebook or done any kind of videos about how tough it is on me. I accepted the role. I went down and to help her out. I brought her here, but to the point though, it was doomed from the start because we only had a short-term plan, and my long-term plan was way too long-term. And the situation has been over the last few months. I thought that I could make arrangements for her to. I don't. I didn't care if she stayed on the property, but she couldn't stay in my house upstairs overhead because she couldn't climb up and down the stairs, and it was more of a physical thing for her. But at the same time, I had no privacy. I'm sleeping over here on the couch. I gave up my bedroom so she could have a privacy, but I had no privacy. But that's okay. Dave don't have to have any privacy. I'm an old man that don't need it. But the accommodations that I put up with to try to make someone else happy, to try to make the accommodations for whatever they are here in my little humble house, I did the best I could. And when someone else's expectations, and you've heard me talk about this, they expect you to be able to provide more. They expect, well, you could have done better. Well, you could have said something. You could have done whatever. I got my own issues, and it's hard for me to take care of myself some days, let alone to try to take the burden on of taking care of someone else all the time. I mean, for the last several weeks, I've been making the food and doing the grocery shopping and doing the thing and the blah. This is not a complaint, but for someone then to turn around and say that I've somehow done something wrong when I've done everything I could possibly do to go out of my way to try to help. So I'm not speaking badly, I promise. But if you've heard things, read things on Facebook or whatever, I'm very sorry that people have to take this kind of thing. Every time I've ever tried to help someone in the past, they've always blamed their issues on me. Well, Dave could have done better. I gave you a free place to live. I gave you, you got a house. You got 18 acres to roam around in. I gave you my best kayak when we went down to the river. I introduced you to my friends. I tried to include you. Um, so like I say, I don't know where some people's brains go. But when things start affecting them to where they have issues of themselves that they listen, when you're sick, do something. I can't wave a magic wand and somehow cure you. If you're sick, then you got to go to a doctor. If you got an ailment, you got to take care of it. But if you're just going to sit around in the chair and go, I hurt all the time. I'm no, she has leukemia. So her breathing issues and stuff, but I tried to tell her, I said, listen, you got to come down out them stairs. We got to do something else. And well, she went to the hospital on Mother's Day and you know, called the ambulance. They showed up here about 8 o'clock in the morning and she went off to the hospital. And I've been a nervous wreck ever since. And I have not been able to talk to her because of my own internal issues. I'm, I am, I try so hard to be careful with what I say. And the last thing I wanted was for there to be any kind of anger issues or animosity between us. Last thing. But other people's opinions and what they think should have transpired or what they feel like I should have done for them, we have to take our own responsibility with some things. We just have to. And I'll not be blamed. Well, actually, I am being blamed for someone else's shortcomings. It just doesn't follow that. And for the last 3 days, I've been feeling guilty because for some reason, maybe Dave, maybe Hawkeye should have been able to see things, done something. And I ran out of stuff, you know. And I knew something bad was wrong. I could feel it. I could tell. I had no idea it was leukemia, but I knew something was wrong, and my internals were just screaming. But you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, kind of thing. So the best thing I could do was, was just be here and for the duration. And she's no longer here on the property. And so I'm sure that there will be some kind of ramifications or something coming back around, that I've been trying to withhold her property or something. I don't want her stuff. Okay. I got enough stuff of my own I'm trying to get rid of. I don't want anybody else's stuff. But I promise all of you, and to her, if she watches this, I promise that I will treat with respect everything that is hers, that is still left in the house. And I will keep you updated on her condition. But if you have heard, seen, or whatever of her talking trash or whatever, take it with a grain of salt, because one person's opinion is not necessarily the truth. And you got to listen to both sides. But I refuse to tear her down. I refuse to go into issues. And like I said, haven't seen her, but I've just heard that there's crap going around. I haven't started any crap. And this is going to finish the crap. Okay. Because whatever has been said, I will tell you now, look at my eyes, look at my face. I did the best I could. Now, maybe my best isn't good enough, and that's probably true, but I still did the best that I could. I still did it with love in my heart. I still did it without any kind of animosity, as much as I was being hollered at and screamed at. I still, you know, when I lost my temper or was close to a trigger point, I went outside. I tried to take it somewhere else. And now I have negative energy that it's in my house that Lord knows it's going to take me a lot of sage to get it out of here, because of the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I know she was in pain. I know she was suffering. I know it, but other than grabbing her by the hair and dragging her down the stairs, I didn't know what else to do. And I didn't think that was going to go over well either. But, so anyway, that's my little tirade. That's my little rant. I've tried my best to help her, and I've gone out of my way. If people only knew how much giving up my space and sleeping on the couch and not having any privacy means to a 67-year-old man or woman. You've had you've had your the running your house and everything. And I tried my best to accommodate, but sometimes your best just isn't good enough. So I'm at fault. I'm not good enough. I wasn't good enough to be able to see this coming, even though I saw it coming. I didn't know what it was, and Lord knows I surely wish that she could be healed from this, but I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm going to continue to pray, and I made this video because she needs our prayers. And so if I was all upset about her and all of this other kind of junk and wanted to get involved with the crap, why would I make a video to say, my friends, the tribe, we need to pray for Miss Deb. She needs help. She needs assistance spiritually. She needs whatever else. And I've done the best I can. I will pack up her stuff and move. I'll do whatever it is required of me, which is way out of my, normal stuff I'm supposed to do. I asked her about a month ago. I said, if something happened to you, I would have not a clue on what to do. I wouldn't know who to call. I wouldn't know where your papers are. I wouldn't know anything. And here we are a month later, and this has sort of happened. God knows what I foresaw in this, I tried to avoid. But it just was one of those things that was not avoidable. So I hopefully you know that I'm not trying to talk trash, because I could go into stuff, but it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. And why tear down a person who's already, in dire straits now anyway? I can just say without feeling guilty, I'm bearing my soul as I normally do. I'm not going to feel guilty because she's sick with leukemia and I could not take care of her. I can't. My house, the facilities here was not conducive for her, period. And so I had been talking with friends on how we could make other arrangements and blah, 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 blah. And then I found out today that she's actually in Augusta, Georgia at the state hospital there, which it's a good hospital there in Augusta. But so things will have to change for her. She's because of her disability condition and so forth, but she needs our prayers. Okay. So if I was so mean and bad and nasty, why would I make a video and say, let's pray for this lady? She needs our prayers. She needs our help. Monetarily, I don't know. I don't have a clue right now. And my having conversation with her right now is like, I know if one thing gets said wrong or overheard wrong in the last 2 months, every time when conversations came, she would ask me questions or say something. I go, but that's not what I meant. Well, but that's what you said. And that's not what I meant. You heard it differently. So how any of us say something to our mates or people or whatever, the person on the other end doesn't hear it sometimes the way we mean it or the way we say it. And that was becoming more of the norm. So the last thing I want to do is talk to her and have things go awry because there's misunderstanding. You know what I mean? I'll do whatever I need to do to pack her things and move her stuff, whatever needs to be done. I never meant to harm Deb. If that was my case, why would I go all the way to Florida and pick her up? And why would I give her my bedroom? Why would I, anyway. So my friends, I love you. I do. If you want to know why I haven't been around, this has been going on in the background. And I couldn't bring anything forward and do a video because there was so much scattered energy. And until things could get unscattered here, I didn't want to share the scatteredness with anybody else. You know what I mean? But for whatever she's saying about me, it doesn't matter. People have been talking trash about me for years. But just know, my friends, and if anybody out there still needs help, I will help. I've got 18 acres. But living in my bedroom isn't the answer. I got tents, I got, but they're crude, Um, I hand dug my well. I'm an old hermit that has been living like an old hippie for the last 40 years, and I'm used to this, but other people aren't. And so, when you get out of your comfort zone, when you have to go outside and get a bucket and bring it in to flush the toilet kind of thing, sometimes that's necessary. But if you can't do it, then you shouldn't be here. If you can't cut the mustard, but the other side of the thing is now you probably think, well, people think I can do this. I can do this. But then after a while you go, I don't know. After 3 months, I'm still doing this. Well, after 40 years, I'm still doing it. People who live in the country, when things go awry or things, blah, 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 when the septic tank starts to smell, you realize you need to use less water and don't flush so many times and pee outside. I mean, there's just stuff. But and country folk are used to it, especially us old timers. But other folk who lived in a city or with all the facilities all the time, blah blah blah, it's not the same, and it's a lot harder to get around. So we have to take into consideration these things, what we think we can do and what we can actually do. But how do we know if we can do them if we don't try it? So in this effort, Miss Deb tried her best, I believe, but her sickness has taken it away from her and has also altered her sense of perception and whatever she may be talking trash about me. It just doesn't seem necessary that I should do this, but in my own defense, now I'm not going to ask for a vote, but there's very, very little of what I've said in here that is like, well, you said that she didn't do or blah blah blah. No, just a conflict of personalities, conflict of what how quick things could be done or how things can formulate or whatever, and it it just did. So the short-term plan was okay, but the long-term plan sucked because we didn't have one. And that's that blame falls on both of us, okay? So it's like, well, you can move upstairs in my bedroom, we can boot all this stuff around and we'll figure it out. Well, but it didn't get figured out. That's my fault. That's her fault. It's both of our faults. We did not have a long-term plan. And so, but if there's anything that I could be at fault at, I mean, just openly say neither one of us paid attention to that. And that's it. We didn't have a long-term plan, and we should have. So, my friends, she really needs our prayers. She really does. She was not doing well when she walked out of here the other day. And the ambulance took her to the hospital, and apparently they transferred her to Augusta on Monday or Tuesday. And I will try to, Lord knows, I want to speak to her, but I don't want to be taken out of context. I don't want to be bitched at anymore. I don't want to be blamed for anything else. I just want to take care of her stuff, pack it up, and send it, or whatever she wants done with it, and just be done with this. I don't want any hard feelings. I tried my best to not have hard feelings. I tried my best to make things better and different. I failed, quite frankly, in that respect. But also, you have to look at the other person's perspective. I failed because I couldn't live up to someone else's expectations. If somebody says, well, you should be able to jump 6 feet, and I can't jump anymore because I'm old and crotchety, so if you can't jump, then, well, you said you could jump. No, you thought I could jump. Anyway, so we need to be careful in things that we do for folks. I've spoke about it before. If you go into something here, and here's one of the issues. I went into this with only one thing in mind: to help Miss Deb out. It wasn't about what I'm going to get out of it. Now, what I was supposed to get out of it was, in case something happened to me living here by myself, there would be somebody on the property. Well, but that didn't really work out because anyway. But so what the original arrangement was, if I guess you could say, the contract was nullified, in that what we both agreed on ahead of time and had changed, had modified. So be careful, my friends. I still wish the best for her, even in her condition. I don't want any animosity. And Lord knows, why would she have to put out trash on Facebook for? Just saying. That's all I'm going to say about this matter, except updates about her health. And I was a little apprehensive about doing that. Well, everybody's business. But here's the thing. If she's putting stuff out on Facebook, then I'm going to do this video, and I'm going to say, pray for her because she needs it. I didn't say anything about pray for Dave, help me out. What about all the stuff that's left in the house? What about all the responsibilities now that have been left here to me that I have to deal with? Ain't asking for anybody's help, although I could use it. But I'm not asking for anybody's help. I will deal with it. I will take care of it. But for somebody else to say, well, but you didn't do good enough, that hurts my feelings because I don't know what else I could have done. So, but when you're at your limits, hopefully other people will know I did the best I could, but that's all I could do. And we have to realize within ourselves, because I was having this same issue myself. There's got to be something else I can do. There wasn't. There was nothing else I could do except help her down the stairs and get in the ambulance. That was the best decision, because she truly, really was sick with more than just emphysema or a little asthma or something, or, she really was, she really is ill. So, and illness will do a lot of things to your mind and to your brain and to your personality and how you feel and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm taking that into consideration. So, anything out there floating around, you don't have to defend me. It's all right. It's okay. I'm just hoping that she will understand I did the best I could. So, let me check in with you folks. I know there's a Michelle. Hi, how are you? Um, Hi, Project Skyfalls. I honestly did. The last 3 days, I have made myself sick overthinking what else could I have done. And uh, at some point, you have to be able to take on your own responsibility, which she did. Yeah, Sunday. I'm sick enough. I need to go to the hospital. Thank you, Jesus. I'd have took you, but you had to call the ambulance. That's okay. SSI pays for it. It's all right. But that's where we have to. When I'm sick enough, and I know when I need to go to the doctor. There are times when I probably should have and didn't, but that's another story. But that's for myself. I can't blame anybody else for my own, shortcomings. Teresa, Hawkeye is going to be. It's going to. I know it's going to be okay, Teresa. Thank you. Um, it hurts my own feelings in that what else could I have manifested? You know, could I have manifested this? I've worked my ass off trying to get certain things taken care of. And I'm being having electricity, poles are being moved and things are being taken care of and blah, 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 blah. But it wasn't quick enough and it wasn't fast enough. And, well, it wasn't good enough but for the other party. David Castle, hi, how are you? Sometimes service to others invades our personal boundaries. I have great compassion for what you're going through. Sending positive energy to Deb. Thank you, David. And this isn't about me. I'm not, but I could talk for 2 hours about the things that have gone wrong here. Ain't gonna do it. Ain't gonna do it. Um, yes, Teresa. She says, "Oh, Hawkeye, you did what your heart led you to do." And back in September, I prayed on it. I meditated. I went down to the river. I just, and I came up with enough money. I came up with a trailer. I came up with this and that. I made it down there without a cell phone and packed up everything in my old, crotchety 67-year-old person, loaded her up and brought it all back here, unloaded it again, and then took the trailer back to my friends, did all that for a friend. But then that same can talk trash about whatever. It just doesn't seem right. But again, she is sick. Leukemia, things do weird things to people. So please don't hold it against her. Okay. I'm not. Um, David Castle says, I have a friend that is a drug addict. I have tried to help her, but until she is ready to help herself, I cannot manipulate her free will. Neither can you and your situation. David, that's exactly it. You know, when I tried little subtle things around the edge and across the side, but it just didn't work. It just didn't work. And all I know is that I just wanted the best, I wanted her to find a place to where she could run around and talk to the animals and nature, and she had that. Nobody had to bother her. But again, what other people's perceptions are and what they feel, you know, well, Hawkeye should have done better. Really? To whose point of view? And I don't mean just Miss Deb. There are other people and other instances that has happened here at the house. And when this instance happened, Um, the other day, I made a comment, and I was a little loud, but she was being pretty loud as well. And I said, you know, you can talk to me. You don't have to raise your voice. And she said, well, but what's the matter? Is raising my voice triggering you? And I said, yes, because I've lived in situations, my ex-wives, situations here at the house, which she's not used to. But in my own shortcoming, her loud voice was triggering me to the point where I just literally just wanted to go over, not physically, but punch her in the nose. Just stop it. Whatever you're doing. And but it had nothing to do with her. It had to do with a bunch of years and a bunch of other situations. But it brought it back up and triggered me to no end. I mean, the tenseness and my nerves. I'm getting my ulcers are coming back. Holy crap! And it's because someone was whatever I was doing was triggering her, and she was doing things that, as much as I was trying to keep it calm on my end and her end too, I'm trying to keep us both calm, right? It got out of hand. And I said, listen, it's got out of hand. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to calm down. You lower your voice. If you need something, you just tell me what you need. You know, well, I need you to go to the store. Calm down. Calm down. Talk to me. I'm really not that hard to talk to. But whatever the other person's opinion and how it affects them, it feels like nobody cares. Well, he doesn't care enough. But I was at my limits because I didn't know what else to do. And when you're at those limits and someone else is expecting you to help and you ain't got a clue, what do? You know what I mean? And I found myself in that situation. And like, you need help, but you're not listening. And you got to come down the stairs, but you won't come down. And you need this, but you won't do that. But it's my fault. It ends up being my fault because there's something else I should have been able to do. And sometimes there just isn't. So for the last several days, I've been praying and meditating. I took my new dog down to the river yesterday. We needed to get in the water, and I needed to find out whether or not he was going to be able to float in a kayak with me. Did pretty good for about 40 minutes. So, you know, and, someone say, "Well, you mean you went to the river and you didn't check on Miss Deb?" Listen, I've been checking on Miss Deb for the last 6 months now or so. And I've been living here and doing everything. I've been sending food. I've been cooking meals. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. I needed a couple of days off. You know what I mean? I've been wanting to go to the river, but I'm afraid to go to the river because she wasn't doing well. I didn't want her to fall down the stairs and me not be here for some reason. So, I went to the river, but I knew she was at the hospital and she was being cared for. I did not know that she had leukemia and had been moved. But I should have been more patient. I should have been more aware. I've been doing this now for several months, and I needed a couple of days of just Dave time, just for me to get myself back, to calm my own self down, so that I could go the next step and continue to try to be, to speak politely instead of raising my voice and, well, you're hollering at me again. Stop it. Quit. I don't want to go there. And it's too easy how emotions are played that for me to fall into that right now. And I want to avoid it. So, Miss Deb, if you watch this, the reason I haven't spoken to you in the last couple of days is because I don't want to argue. I just want to, I'm sorry that you're ill. I'm sorry it didn't work out here. I'm sorry you couldn't get up and down the stairs. It ain't my fault. I tried my best to try to make things different. We had a bad plan as far as our long-term plan. Short-term plan worked okay, but the long-term sucked because we didn't have one. But now the situation has changed, and I'm not blaming her. I swear I'm not. Situations. But again, I'm going to hope and pray that whatever her feelings are towards me that I didn't do enough, I hope she just calms down and just lets it drop. And if not, Okay, tear me to shreds. I don't care. I've had better folks than her tear me to shreds before. So nothing new. And I got a surprise the other day. My friend Marcia called me on the phone and she goes, there's a lady, I called the art center and we're going to take a painting class online kind of thing. And she goes, so I signed up for it. She goes, well, Miss Connie said that, she said, David, no, yeah. She goes, well, tell him that Miss Connie said hi. And, now this has been 15, 20 years ago. And we used to do theater together. And the last time I talked with them, they didn't like me too good. But after all these years, she said, well, yeah, tell him I said hi and hope he's doing okay. And glad to see, thumbs up. So even after years of being tore up, tore down, and ripped to shreds, sometimes you just have to be who you are and be strong in that and not retaliate. I'm not going to go on Facebook and try to find out what she's been saying and try to rebuke it and all this kind. No. In fact, this video's gone on too long anyway. But it means something for the rest of us because be careful. I've talked about this before. Be careful. You can put forth your energy, but if the people receiving it think they're supposed to be more, or it's supposed to be different, or it's their perception of what you say you can do for them. So it's like, well, I can give you a temporary place to stay. Well, but temporary, what does temporary mean? Well, a year or two. No, 6 months. 2 or 3 months, maybe a week, maybe temporary. What do we mean by temporary? So we have to be careful. So we say, well, I want to help you out and I can do this, this, and this. Well, the other person's going, well, you can do that. And so they put expectations upon you that you never agreed to. And I bet you all know a situation or someone. And this is just another one of those situations for me in a long line of things that I've tried to help people over the years, in that they feel that, well, I expect more out of you. I ain't got no more. You got it. You got my privacy. You got my bedroom. You got my this. You got my that. Don't know what else I can give. I honestly don't. And so, but prayers. And I don't mean just Miss Deb. I'm speaking of other issues of other people that I have given my bedroom to help them out, to try to get their lives straightened out. And one way or the other, they've all ended up in a similar situation. So maybe I should quit doing it. You want to come here? Okay, I got a tent. You can stay in the tent. You can come in the house and eat with me. You can watch TV. You can use the shower in the bathroom, but you ain't staying in the house, if that's the case. And, if you're not a relative and going home after you come visit, Dave's learned his lesson, as much as I want to help people and that kind of thing. Nope. I'm sorry. I guess this will be the last one in that respect. And I don't mean to be rude, but it's like, for me, it was a mistake to begin with. We had a bad long-term plan. That's my fault. And, we failed at the long-term plan. But anyway, so we need to pray for Miss Deb. I will find out if I can just how bad her situation is. And, but as far as this goes about me and her and whatever, there was never any love affair or anything like that. It was just one friend trying to help out another. And I'm so sad that she feels that, however she does, that, I'm that she's got to talk trash about me. That's just really sad on her part. It's okay. My friends, I love you. Thank you. And I will be back. There are things that need to be discussed that are sort of related to this situation that I've been going through. But it's just going to be issues related to, like, expectations of other people, and what they think, things like that, having nothing to do with Miss Deb or anybody else in particular. Although I have a lot of people who've been here before on the property and so forth that I'm going to be using as my own personal example as to, people do the weirdest things. But anyway, My friends, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Each and every day, even in my weirdness, I still go down my list and I send prayers out to all of you. Send prayers out to Miss Deb. She needs them a lot more than I do. I'm a, I'm an ornery old cuss. I'll get over this. But of all of this, though, it hurts my feelings that she's talking smack. There just wasn't any. There was just no need for that. Well, I've kept my opinions mostly to myself, but that just isn't fair. And so, and in the grand scheme of how we become better people as shamans, I learned years ago, don't talk smack about people. That mess will come back on you now. So you gotta, you can do these things, but so I ain't gonna talk smack about Miss Deb. She's got her issues. We did our best, and I'm sorry she has leukemia. I really, truly am. I'm so sorry. But as far as the living arrangement thing, that was poorly planned. But it was a spur of the moment. She needed to get out of there. Blah blah blah. But so be wary of those kinds of things. Make sure you got better plans. I had it planned up to a point, but the long term just fizzled out. Anyway, um, I have no ill feelings towards her. Um, I'm disappointed that she would talk smack about me, but you know, it just isn't necessary in the long grand scheme of things. If somebody's done you wrong, if you think you need to go talk about them to try to, I'm only doing this video because I wanted to say I did the best I could with me and my situation, my house, the land, the whole thing. I did the best I could. Now, if it wasn't good enough, that's somebody else's fault, not mine. Okay. And I can't take the blame for her getting sick, because she didn't get leukemia just in the last two or 3 months. She's had this, and I'm sorry. I really and truly am. I tried my best to show her herbs and things to try to help her condition. It was a lot worse than anticipated, but anyway, she still needs our prayers. Miss Deb, if you watch this video, I still love you. But talking smack about anybody just does no good in the long run. It brings it back upon us. So I hope the best. I will continue to pray for her well-being, and I did the best I could. So David, Michelle, what did I miss? Healthy boundaries. Don't read your comment. What? Safe boundaries drawn by spirit. Thank you, Teresa. Yeah, I set boundaries, but the thing is that my bedroom's upstairs over here. It's a narrow house, and there are no bedrooms downstairs. And so my own issue of not being able to get to the toilet, I'm sleeping down here because the bathroom's right through that door. And in the middle of the night, with me and my prostrate issues, I don't want to pee all over the floor, So, but at the same time, she needed more privacy than I did. I could get away with it down here. But the thing is that the boundaries were set, but she'd come downstairs in the middle of the night, middle of the day. It didn't matter. I mean, I never knew when she was going to come downstairs. And in that, what am I doing? It doesn't really matter. It's just that if I wanted to sit in my underwear, I didn't know if she was going to come. It's just that idea of not knowing. Well, but can I sit here? Well, I don't know. It's just that idea. So did she do anything wrong in that? No, but by having the situation, it created an effect on me, which I did my best to keep my mouth shut about. David Castle, deep breath, let it go. Thank you. Yeah, I'm giving, my frustration is that I'm disappointed in that the talking smack thing. Michelle, life is strange. Yeah. People are weird. These are my personal observations after 47 years. this go around. Yep. Hi, ST. I hope to. Hi, Mary Wins. So anyway, send the prayers out, and you know, respond or react if you want to her comments. But I just want to say that I can't. And I'm not going to spend any more time on it. I don't know if I could have done anything more. I know I went down my list. I've done as much as I could in all of these aspects and all of these things. She didn't drive, so I had to drive everywhere. She didn't cook, so I cooked most of the meals. I mean, so to badmouth me in any way just isn't fair. But anyway, I still love her. I still hope that she gets that she can fight this. Although mm, we'll pray for her to have peace inside, outside, and may she get better in that respect. Mary Wins, SD, Project Skyfalls, David Castle, Michelle. Mary Wins, I got you there. Teresa. Um, Let me see what y'all say here at the end here. Let me catch up with you. Thank you. I love you all. I do. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, don't beat yourself up. Yep, I have. I've been beating myself up because I'm that kind of person. If somebody's not well, then could I have done something? And see, and that's I've talked about this before, and that there are those folks who call it the Jesus Christ complex, and I've got it. Or not near as bad as I used to, but it's that you think that you can fix everything. It's not that you think you're God, but in the respect that, well, this person I can help them. I can save them. I can, help with their day. And that's the JC complex. And there are some times when you just have to get back out of the way because you really can't fix it all. You can provide as much of your talent and your energy, but if that ain't enough, then it's time for whoever it is, whatever it is, and I can't feel guilty because I don't have anything else to give, can't ain't gonna do it. This is my outlet of I'm not gonna feel guilty over this. um and thank you all. She needs our support. um Humans, you gotta love them, yeah, don't you know? I've said this before, but I grew up with a guy down in Tampa that used to do uh steel building construction with him. And he was a little short guy. He was like 5'2", red hair, wiry guy. Rolled his own cigarettes. He loved zigzags. Come to find out, he smoked a little weed on the side too. But he goes, you know what? He goes, the life is pretty easy if it weren't for people. Like what? And he goes, think about it. He goes, if it weren't for other people, life would go be really easy. It's those people who get in your way or run into your car, or if it weren't for other people, involving themselves or somehow messing with your stuff, down here in the swamp. I do my little thing down here, and because I don't bother anybody, it only bothers me. Unless somebody comes to visit and goes, well, I don't like what you did there. We'll leave that one alone. But out in the real world, you got to deal with people all the time, and so and you gotta work with them. You got to deal with them. You got to be able to give yourself. You have to communicate. Communication. Yeah, that was a big breakdown. But anyway, my friends, thank you. Till next time, love is all we are. All we got. Love works. Yep. Teresa, keep moving with love. Chalk it up as lessons. Yeah, I did the best I could. I got her out of Tampa. I got her into a different situation. I got all these other things changed, and who knows? The hospital in Augusta is a really good hospital. So, but anyway, so I will continue to pray for her, and I'll be back. I'll be back with some more shaman training things and some insights. So, my friends, I love you. Stay safe. Stay calm. And for God's sakes, if you're going to make a plan, make sure your short term plan works into a long term plan. Even if the long term plan is to not go any further, that's the long term plan. That it's only going to be a short, you know what I'm saying? Well, I'm going to do this for 3 months. Okay, well, when 5 months comes, then maybe you should say, I think I went past my time. Anyway, thank you, Mary. um, Project Sky Falls, Michelle, as always. Um, Est- Estes, I'm I'm having trouble. Esty Montford, thank you. You know, I have gone outside and in my prayers to Mary and to the angels, and Lord knows, what do I do? How do I do? You know, give me the strength to stay calm in the situation. Give me the strength to do what needs to be done. And man, my patience was tested. Oy vey. And in certain ways I failed miserably because I lost my temper a time or two. I didn't throw anything or hurt anybody, but you know, to raise my voice is like, that's a no-no for me. We do the best we can. We're human beings after all. So have a good night. Have a good morning. I'll talk to you all soon. And stay in the love. As much as all of this has been crazy on my end, I still wish her well. You know, she may not feel the same way about me if she's talking trash, but I still wish her well. And none of the friends around here, and you all know, I haven't posted anything about Miss Deb until now. And I've kept it to a minimum. So be safe, be sweet, be kind to each other. You know, this world's tough enough without having to go through, you know, arguing with each other and this and that, especially if you've misunderstood someone. You know, you got to be able to say, well, you said this. Hang on, back that boat up. Let's go back over it again. If I've said something, somebody, you know, used to blah 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 all the time. Listen, if you didn't hear me correctly, let me explain it another way. You know, so that you can understand. I don't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm trying to help you, you know, but if you're sick, you got to get up and do something. Or you got to tell somebody, I'm sick enough, take me to the hospital. Or I got a something, or whatever it is. You have to be able to speak it, say it, ask. If you don't ask, you're not going to receive any help. And in some ways, I feel like I was trying to understand something that I had no communication about. I did not know how bad she was. I did not know what this was. I did not know because of the communication gap on her part. So the more communication, talk to me, tell me what you need. We'll see what we can do. So above all things, keep communicating, because the lack of communication, whatever the project is, will nosedive and fail. It will. So, my communication, cosmic hugs. Cheers, everybody, to the Dante and to the Silent 72 Plus. Keep it together. Keep calm. And man, there's a lot of stuff going on, ain't there? So we just do the best you can. And I can't fault myself or feel guilty because my best wasn't good enough. You know, it just if if you're not a long distance, I ran the 440 in high school. I was a sprinter. You know, running a half a mile was not in my. I'm not a long. I would never was a long distance runner. You know, half a mile was a long way for me. You know, a quarter mile was my trick. But you know, a long distance runner can also be a sprinter, but a sprinter does not necessarily mean that they can be a long distance runner. So, but you say, well, you were on the track team. Yeah, but just because I was on the track team doesn't mean I can run a mile. You know, I ran the hurdles. You know, I was the shot putter. You know, I threw the discus. Well, you were on the track team. You should be able to run the 100-yard dash. You know what I mean? So simply because you say, well, I've studied shamanism, I study medicinals, I study edible plants and the herbs, and I do. But because I study it, does that mean if you come to old Dave for, um, a dose of wisdom, if you don't pay attention and you don't follow through on what you already know, and the communication drops down, then you're going to blame it on me? Well, he didn't give me enough information, or they didn't give me enough information. Well, he led me down this garden path and then didn't give me any more. We have to use our own noggins, We have to be able to discern things and to accept them and to receive them and bring them into our hearts. So I continue to pray that each and every one of you will accept and receive the healing, the knowledge, the wisdom, and the blessings from the universe. I continue to pray each and every day that each and every one of you, your friends, your family, all of your relatives, and all of your relations, past, present, and to come, will learn to accept and receive the knowledge, the wisdom, the healing, and the blessings from the universe. And in that rule of three, I continue to pray that each and every one of you will learn to accept and receive and continue to share the wisdom, the knowledge, the healing, and the blessings from the universe. And with that said, please pray for Deb. And I know you all send good energy out to me too. Shove it her way. She needs it more than I do at the moment. Thank you all. God bless you all. And until next time, be safe, stay healthy, and above all, keep communication with the spirit, with yourself, and with others so that we know what's going on with each other. I love you all until next time. Be safe, be kind, be compassionate,